Ready for something big, expensive, and incredibly deep? The Cadillac Escalade IQ is all of that, and I'm here to tell you all about it, and I'm not going to waste your time. You'll see. Let's get to it. What's gray, weighs more than 4.5 tons, and has a trunk up front? Well, normally the answer would be an African elephant, female specifically, but you know where I'm going with this. Cadillac's Escalade IQ makes a big statement. It has palpable presence. Instead of 300 pounds of vegetation and 20 gallons of water daily, it runs on this stuff. Unlike the pachyderm, it has no tailpipe, as it were. So it's considerably cleaner. And for those that think they need significant range, IQ has that covered, rated at 460, not kilometers, miles. That range is achieved the good old-fashioned American way. Throw a lot of resources at it. The pack alone weighs more than a Toyota Corolla. Overall, it's 9,200 pounds. That's 3,000 more than the ICE Escalade. And sure, this is a foot longer, same height and width, but dang, this is spendy. Pricing for this three-row luxury hauler starts at $130,000. I'm driving a premium sport trim dipped in deep space metallic paint with a harbor blue cabin treatment that MSRPs for just under $155,000. That's 30 large over a gas-powered Escalade, but easily half the price of a Celestiq for the glass half full crowd. There's also this, sitting across the showroom, the all-electric Vistiq, also with 3 rows. It can be had for $95,000, extremely well equipped. It's rated at 305 miles, the DC fast charge speed is slower, the cabin isn't as spacious, and Vistiq doesn't have Escalade IQ's gravitas. But the difference in cost could pay for an optic. If you judge your Escalades by 0 to 60 times, the IQ will do that dash in about 4.5 seconds, which is a tick slower than the Escalade V, which is ICE. It has a deep, throaty growl. This is whisper quiet, really more towards the Cadillac ethos. Even with the sport tone turned on, not a lot happening sonically. And Cadillac does its acceleration in a measured, regal way. It's definitely powerful, but to quote Thomas Dolby, it's like an iron fist in a glove full of Vaseline. Thomas Dolby, highly underrated. The IQ may not blind with science, but it does hit with technology. An Escalade with power doors? Oh, that's a statement making a statement. Hopping into the cabin and stepping on the brake pedal wakes everything up. That's 55 inches of crisp, clear screen coming to life. More on the interface later. Dual motor all-wheel drive is standard with up to 750 horsepower and 785 pound-feet of torque when velocity max mode is dialed in. All-wheel steering is standard. In addition to VMAX, there are the usual drive settings, including an individual mode that tailors steering and throttle effort, plus the suspension that features the 4th generation of General Motors' impressive magnetic ride control dampers and adaptive air ride. Recuperation drag can be customized to any driver's taste. Plus, there's GM's Regen paddle that's pressure sensitive on Cadillacs, a feature more automakers should steal. General Motors doesn't usually give its EVs frunks, but its larger trucks, yes, and this is pretty sizable. At just over 12 cubic feet, the eTrunk, as it's called, has more cargo room than some sedans, and it doesn't hurt space inside either. The battery is a 205 kilowatt-hour dual-stacked lithium-ion pack with 24 Ultium modules, the same found under Hummer, Sierra, and Silverado EV. Each module is supported by a weight-saving wireless network that talks with the operating system. Escalade IQ's 800-volt architecture enables DC fast charging powerful enough to add 100 miles of range in 10 minutes. IQ is more than a show pony, it's a workhorse. Capable of towing 8,000 pounds. Considering its size and mass, Escalade IQ borders on nimble. Seriously, the dynamic duo of the latest generation magnetic ride control and adaptive air suspension is almost like magic. My favorite drive mode is Sport, and look at that. Hard cornering, it's pretty flat. This is remarkable. In the normal drive setting, there's some role in hard cornering, not tons, no pun intended. It needs to be experienced. IQ seems to ignore the laws of physics. Dynamically, it seldom feels its weight. No doubt about it, Escalade IQ's seating position is way up high. Supplemental oxygen, anyone? And unlike Vistiq, which drives a size smaller than it is, this drives the size it is, which is big. One thing I really like is this blind spot camera system because visibility is good but not great in this. So when you signal, you get the view of what you might be turning into. Genesis has this as well. They put it in the gauge cluster, which is a little bit easy to see, but still, this is nice. There's a large, crisp head-up display that's easy to read, but tough to photograph. IQ is some 19 inches longer, 7 inches wider, and 5 inches higher than Vistiq, but Big Brother maneuvers through the McMansions with ease. U-turn. U-turn is amazing. Check that out. This is the big rig, and it did that effortlessly. Rated at 460 miles, I simply don't have the time to range test this vehicle. That's a lot of driving, and in my humble opinion, most people don't need it. Okay, maybe livery drivers. My best guesstimate in mixed driving and 75-degree temperatures, it's closer to 430 miles, still really good. Towing sucks the life force out of a battery pack, but 200 miles should be doable with a good-sized boat behind this land yacht. Even in sport mode, this remains pretty comfortable. You don't so much feel bumps as much as you hear them, and it's quiet. Also, this is built on the same chassis as Sierra EV, Hummer EV, and Silverado EV, but this definitely feels like it has an extra layer of Teflon on it. It's very smooth. Continuing on with the large theme, these are 24-inch wheels wearing 35-inch tires. Parking structures are easier to maneuver with four-wheel steering, but from behind the wheel, visually, the pucker factor is high. Same with narrow city streets. There's Super Cruise, my favorite semi-autonomous driving system, and a very long list of active electronic safety tech, ADAS, which I'm not going to get into, except for one, the automatic emergency braking system with pedestrian and bicycle detection. And it's active here up to 50 miles an hour, which is important because there's concern that these big rigs hit people. The front ends are so big, you just don't see them. You do know that GM's EVs are open to the Tesla supercharger network, right? Until the General starts installing native NACS plugs in its vehicles, which is happening, an adapter is needed. Always buy good equipment, people, especially for a vehicle that's north of 150 grand. Lectron has a new Vortex Plus adapter with interlocker that's supposedly even more reliable than the outgoing version, though I never had an issue with the first generation. You'll definitely know that the IQ is charging. The pack might be massive, but the 800-volt architecture can suck up electrons like a dry sponge soaks up spilled coffee. If you have an EV, for the best experience, you really need to be able to charge where you sleep. It's a lot less expensive, plus a lot more convenient. During peak hours, filling a spent 250 kilowatt pack here would cost $120. At my house, it would be closer to $25. With the right charging equipment, I could power my home if the electricity went out. A pack this large could run it for days. Escalade IQ is incredibly deep, and if I covered everything, this video would be an hour, maybe longer. So here are the highlights of the cabin. It looks expensive. Good to see some creativity in the colorway department. Smooth finished edges and lining here is a good sign that Cadillac is sweating the details. The 55 inches of display are used smartly. There are zones that do a good job of keeping things organized while allowing a lot of flexibility in the layout. I'll point out to thrifty luxury buyers that the heated, vented, and massaging seats, these lovely hefty door releases, and some of the switchgear can be found in Vistic. Same with the controller knob that feels plasticky to me. But everything else has the gravity and mojo you'd expect in a vehicle at this price. Let's tackle the interface. Starting out with, there is no Apple CarPlay or Android Auto phone projection, and that's okay. I am deeply rooted in the Apple ecosystem, and I really don't miss CarPlay all that much. I can still make and receive phone calls. I can still send and receive texts. In fact, I'm getting one now. And yes, Keela, I know that. You are dead to me. Kidding. She's the best sister-in-law ever. I can still play music off my phone. I'm just doing it through GM's interface. It works pretty well. It's not as elegant as CarPlay, but it works. Overall, the user interface is similar to Lyric and Vistic, but this panel is quite different, and it does require a learning curve, mostly because it's controlling a lot of things. I would figure after a month or so, owners would get used to it. But the main screen is very well organized. Touch response is excellent. Flow is great. It can be customized every which way from Sunday. There's this little tray down here. If you place things there, then when you go off this main menu, they remain pinned. And then there's this screen over here. It allows the passenger to be useful, or they can just watch TV or YouTube. This is my favorite channel, but maybe I'm biased. They get wireless headphones, so it doesn't bother anybody else in the vehicle. Is this interface perfect? No, but it's really good, and it's getting better all the time. Yeah, I think Tesla has the edge when it comes to software, but it doesn't have a vehicle like this. 2 phone chargers are better than couples counseling. Self-parking helps considering the size. The 38-speaker AKG system is immersive. The drivers seem to be everywhere. Digital rearview mirror, check. And there's Google Assistant that allows drivers to keep their eyes on the road. Time for Escalade IQ after dark. Many luxury vehicles have LED accent piping in the cabin. Cadillac relies on the broad display and changing patterns to create ambiance. Those grooves in the wood, those are backlit. The effect, as a whole, is more subtle than, say, Mercedes-Benz and BMW. Who knew Cadillac and subtle could be used in the same sentence, huh? And while it might seem like a gimmick, the optional night vision helps to pop people and animals out from quite a distance. Perfect for dark, dreary Seattle nights. Everybody loves the power doors, especially kids, and why not? They're pretty cool. Row 2 is strictly captain's chairs. There is no bench available. These seats are pretty comfortable, and they slide fore and aft to max out leg or cargo room. Maybe show those in row 3 a little bit of love. There you go. The optional executive second row seat package adds throne-like chairs and stowable tray tables. First class, anyone? And it upgrades the AKG system to 40 speakers. This standard setup is far from steerage. There are lots of features, nice screens too. Towards the back, some details become more GMC than Cadillac. There are clear GM parts on display. Getting to row 3, this action is not overly elegant to watch, and the dual-layer battery pack adds some height to the step-in. Oh, the struggles the wealthy will have to deal with to ride back here. Keep in mind, I'm shooting this with a very wide-angle lens. I'm 5'9". My Levi's inseam is 32 inches as far as headroom goes. Well, that's not bad. I've got at least 2 inches, and there are belts for 3 back here. But if you're going to use that middle position, you have to attach this. Sometimes that can be kind of cumbersome. This is a Cadillac. For the full Cadillac experience, 2 would be better. That middle position has legroom for days. The outboard positions, not as much. Legroom is okay. My size 11s will fit underneath this little cavity. If for some reason you need more room back here, there's always the Escalade IQ L. Measure your garage first, though. That's a big truck. It's not just the size of this electric SUV that telegraphs presence. The formal lines of the sheet metal radiates confidence. It looks more expensive than Vistiq, though maybe not an extra 50 grand. I prefer this look to the gas Escalade. IQ is one of those vehicles that looks better in person. Those power doors gave a lot of passengers concern. I had to explain that there are sensors, and they won't just prang the car alongside it. This being a Cadillac EV, there is the requisite walk-up light show. If this dance is all you're looking for, Optic, Lyric, and Vistiq offer the same kind of entertainment for a lot less money. In one case, the animation got a round of applause from a group standing by. Dedicated EV platforms can be very space efficient. That said, I have seldom come across a 3-row SUV that has loads of cargo room behind the way back. Vans, yes. SUVs, no. Volkswagen's ID Buzz doesn't offer CEO elegance, though, if that's what you're looking for. There's nearly 27 cubic feet with all the seats filled. 5 packs of TP behind a third row is a decent score. There's no spare tire, but the travel charge cord stows here. This is a Cadillac, and it does Cadillac things, like a powered third row. Important considering the load floor is high. Only an NBA player could drop and raise these manually, and even then it wouldn't be easy. Row 2 can be flattened from back here too, but not raised. That makes for a completely level floor. Good for sleeping in, especially once your spouse finds out how much this truck cost. Eyeballing this space, I figured 16 packs of the 2-ply would be more than enough, so that's all I brought out. I can admit when I'm wrong. Okay, let's call it 17, maybe even 18. Honestly, it's really difficult bringing 16 packs of this stuff out on a flatbed. Try it sometime, you'll see. I was so bothered by getting it wrong, I forgot to measure the eTrunk. At 12 cubic feet, 3 packs would load up for a total of 21, tying Buick Enclave for best score in a non-van vehicle. I also forgot to shoot the crab walk feature, but hey, this video is already going long. In a world where excess is the symbol of success, Escalade IQ tells the world owners are living large, or it could be a corporate lease. Escalade IQ is a majestic machine. Something this big, this heavy, has no business handling like it does. I mean, look at this. Check this out. I'm gonna make you dizzy. This really does impress. So does the charge speed, the range. It's lovely to look out on all of this. It really makes a statement. However, that's not always good, because even the regular Escalade is pretty polarizing. This at 9,200 pounds, even more so. And of course, no CarPlay, but you don't really need it. No doubt, Vistiq is a better value, and for most buyers, that's important. But if cost is no object, and this fits in the garage, Escalade IQ is the 500-pound gorilla in the world of luxury EVs. Because there are no 9,200-pound gorillas. So I've been using that 9,200-pound weight throughout this piece. That's gleaned from Car and Driver, since GM doesn't post an official weight that I could find. However, I put the Slade to work by hauling 3 mattresses to the dump for my neighbor, who's done me a number of favors. Seattle has nice dumps. We call them transfer stations. And it dawned on me that they weigh the vehicle before and after unloading. When I was leaving, the operator of the scale looked at me like, "What the when it read this. Yeah, heavier than I even imagined. Driving duties so I can shoot running footage this week are courtesy of Mr. Rob Calero. Rob is kind of the Cadillac EV guy. He's driven Optic and this stick and now this. So, how do they compare?
This is the biggest.
Really?
Yeah, it's the biggest. No, they're all awesome, to be honest. They're very good.
Yeah.
Very awesome cars. This one's big, but surprisingly nimble.
Yeah, crazy. And part of the reason why he's driving today is because Martin,
Grandpa.
he's going to be a grandpa today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we hope.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's about time.
Yeah.
Anyways, congratulations, Martin. And I can say we had a great time testing this rig, especially the turning radius. The official specs say it's 39.8 feet, or 12.15 meters for the rest of the world. It seems much tighter than that. Must be an optical illusion. Fun fact before I go, I checked with the New York Department of Transportation, and technically, this is not allowed to cross the Brooklyn Bridge. The vehicle weight limit is 6,000 pounds. Obviously, this is heavier, but stop and think about it. How many GMC Yukons and Lincoln Navigators go across every day? And the New York City mayor is shuttled around in a Chevy Suburban High Country, easily over 6,000 pounds. And he's not getting into trouble. I mean, I guess he is, but let's not get into politics. Thanks for watching. Hey, you're here at the end. Subscribe to the channel because I'm assuming you enjoyed the video. I'm on all the social media platforms. Check me out there. And if you have a question, leave it in the comments. I am good about getting back to people. And if I don't, one of my followers will. It's a great community. Really, check it out. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.